Hi everybody, welcome to the Walker's Guide and welcome to another day. Today is day 24 of 30 Days of Wild. Just 6 days left and day 29 hopefully is going to be a banger. And today we're again at Weald Country Park. It's been another blisteringly hot day. It was up to 38 degrees earlier, or at least that's what my thermometer told me. It's now sort of 8 o'clock and it's cooled down to a balmy 30 degrees. But we've got to be out. So today we're talking about this plant. One of the most ubiquitous plants you're going to see. You go for a walk in a woodland, you're going to see two non-tree plants most likely. The bramble, which we've already covered, and the bracken. And this is bracken, common bracken. It's got a few other names. It is a kind of a fern and it is quite an amazing plant. Look how far it has gone. This is one of those plants that if you leave a space empty for any length of time, you will most likely get bracken. They're really cool because they actually follow a mathematical formula called the Fibonacci series. Look at this. We've got a big leaf just here, this lovely big leaf. And that big leaf is made up of small leaves. And those small leaves are made up of smaller leaves. And those smaller leaves are made up of, well, actually they're not, but there are lots of leaves. And when they're young, they actually are curled up. And they curl up in the Fibonacci series, the golden series, where it goes along and up and then half as much and half as much, and then really cool. So what's it good for? Well, it's great for ground cover. Like the bramble, it will kind of protect an area. It allows trees to get some energy, but also to sort of protect them. It keeps ground available for small insects, but it can be a big problem because you get too much of it and it's almost like a bit of a blight on the landscape. It stops the trees from getting all the light when they're small. It stops other plants from growing. So this edge here, we can see the remains of some bluebells that grew earlier in the year. They'll be out on the edges here, and we can see there's a small oak growing on the edges, and there's grasshoppers hopping throughout. The problems are, well, for one, if you live in an area with them, especially like a place like New Forest, the bracken is where you're going to find ticks. Spread by those little fellas over there. I don't know if we saw that, but there's some fallow deer running. They will spread ticks. And ticks are literal bloodsuckers. In fact, there's an American type of tick called a Lone Star tick that could give you an illness that makes you unable to process protein from red meat. So no more steaks, no more burgers. I can't think of much worse. Over here, we can get things like Lyme disease. So if you do go out and you walk through bracken, please make sure you check your legs, any bits of your body that are open for ticks, because the last thing you want is to get ill from them. So the bracken, there is a couple of other uses, but ones that we no longer advise. In some areas, and a lot of it was in Japan and in Wales, people would eat these young, well, that's not a young shoot, but the young shoots of the bracken because it's like a vegetable and it was tasty. However, in the recent years, we've actually found it's got a really nasty carcinogen that causes stomach cancer. And there's high amounts of stomach cancer both in Japan and in North Wales. It's not known whether or not there's a direct link, but to be honest, I think I'll stick to my carrots. So that's bracken. Now its scientific name is a bit more of a tricky one. Its scientific name is Pteridum aquilinium, but the pteridum is started with a P because of course it is. But that's the common bracken. That's a potentially poisonous plant, and that's day 24 of 30 Days of Wild. And I'll see you all again tomorrow for day 25. Bye!